this angel.
Stop it, you evil person.
Haha, an innocent angel like you can't stop a devil from doing evil deeds.
Well, it's true that a devil can't be stopped, but an angel has the capability of not being destroyed by the devil.
Oh really?
Yes, have you heard of the angel prophecy?
No, what is that?
It is a game that plays on an infinite chessboard, where the angels start out on a square of the board, whose coordinates is xy. The devil may hit any square on the board at each turn, but is limited to one square per turn. The angel has a power of integer k, where the angel can fly to a square that is not eaten by the devil yet. The maximum distance that the angel can travel is at most k from its current coordinates. The devil wins if it can trap the angel by eating all the surrounding squares within k distance of the angel's current coordinates. The angel wins by the ability to move forever.
Well, it looks like the devil can trap the angel of any power, because the angel is probably as foolish as you. Ha ha! I'm sure you will only walk in one direction if you are the angel, thinking that with a large power, you can escape from the devil. I just thought of a strategy that can trap a foolish angel like you.
Are you sure?
Of course, let me explain to you. When the angel plans to only move in one direction, let's say towards the north, the angel could only land onto squares within a cone of slope n. In order to block the angel effectively, a long barrier built at a far distance across the cone with k consecutive lines is needed. However, it is impossible for the devil to complete building such a barrier before the angel arrives at the barrier site. Now let h be the distance between the devil's desired barrier and the angel up to the north. The width of cone that covers the possible future angel's position is 2hk plus 1, so that a complete barrier of thickness k at that distance would consist of about 2h squares. With the devil filling the barrier partly in his first h over 2k moves, while the angel gets halfway to the distant line, he blocks about 1 out of 4k cubed squares there, distributing his move evenly over the full width. Once the angel reaches the center line, the devil will determine another cone of potential angel positions. By simple geometry, the new cone covers only half of the original wall. The devil then distributes his next h over 4k moves evenly on that segment of barrier that can still be reached by the angel. The devil will get the same proportion of about 1 out of 4k cubed squares blocked there until the angel has reduced his distance to the wall by half again to h over 4. This process will continue until the relevant part of the barrier is finished before the angel arrives.
But I think only a handful of people will be so stupid to just go in one direction. The devil is still not guaranteed to win.
I'm sure there's a strategy for the devil to win. Let me Google it. Haha, see? Someone has already came up with a strategy that the devil can win an angel of power 1. Let me explain to you. To catch an angel of k equals to 1, the devil simply has to form a block of 3 in the direction that the angel is traveling. If this succeeds, then the devil simply needs to continue adding blocks in whichever direction the angel is heading, preventing the angel from passing through. Let's look at a scenario where the devil has successfully formed the block of 3 and the angel is at the position as shown. If the angel moves towards A, the devil can cut her off by blocking off U. If the angel moves towards A prime, the devil can cut her off by blocking off U prime. In such a case, the devil will win. It is not difficult to set up this scenario. The devil simply needs to start building these blocks at a certain distance away from the angel. As long as the distance is large enough, where h is more than 5, the triple block can always be completed before the angel reaches near the wall. The first square block will be 5 squares directly above the angel. When the angel moves towards A, the devil can block out U. When the angel moves to B, the devil can block out V. When the angel moves to C, the devil can block out W. By the time the angel moves to the 4th row, the devil will then be able to set up a triple block whichever direction it moves to. However, in order to ensure that the situation happens for all 4 sides, the devil will need to consider 2 directions when the angel moves diagonally. To do so, the devil first set up an imaginary box around the angel and block out the 4 corners of this box. The box should be far enough from the angel such that she does not get close during the preparation stage. After the corners have been set up, the devil can then move on to set up the triple block 4 directions, which will allow the devil to successfully trap the angel.
Well, this is just one of the cases. Prove this strategy still work in other cases if you can.
Okay, let me think about it.
I'm sure you are not able to, because I read a strategy for online that an angel with the power of at least 2 can win the devil in an infinite chessboard. The devil cannot trap the angel in any way.
What? Are you sure? Prove it!
At the start of the game, the angel creates a path that is an infinite straight line from south to north that passes just west of the angel's starting position. The angel maintains a path that represents his past and future movements. The left side of the path is VK, while its complement is the right side of the path. Both are infinite. We will partition the squares of the board into 3 sets: evaded, eaten, and free. Evaded is the current path left set, which is VK. Eaten squares are the squares at the current path right set that has been eaten by the devil. Therefore, initially, the western half-wall is evaded, while the eastern half-wall, including the angel's starting square, is free. Neither the angel nor the devil can change an evaded square back to free or eaten. If the devil eats an evaded square, it stays evaded, and the angel can only move along 3 squares. A segment is the border between 2 adjacent squares. No segment occurs more than twice in the path. If a segment occurs only once in the path, then its left square is in VK, while its right square is not. If a segment occurs twice in the path, then the occurrences have opposite direction in the form of a loop, and both adjacent squares are in VK. Whenever a segment along the path occurs twice, the path should be adjusted to avoid being trapped. There are 2 ways to adjust. 1. By extension. Examples of extension are as follows. Second, by contraction, removes the segment that occurs twice from the path. Let's call the segment that separates the evaded area and the angel at any turn as purge. At every turn, angel moves the purged 2 segments along path towards its future part and lies on the right side of the new purge. Every time the devil eats a square, the angel considers making additional free and eaten squares evaded, or in other words, alter the path if the new path meets the following conditions. This allows angel to make a walkabout among a sufficient number of eaten squares sufficiently close to angel's path. Let lambda I to be the path after being updated in turn I. Let lambda 0 be the initial path at the start of the game. Let Pi be the angel's purge after the angel's move in turn I. Let P1 be the set of any possible path beta, whose path includes the past part of the current path up to and including the current purge. Then let P2 be the set of those beta that satisfy the following condition. The following shows a correct alteration of path. The following is a wrong demonstration of altering the path. In short, P2 is a set of paths in P1 that increase by no more than 2 units for each eaten square that is now made evaded. We let P3 be the set of those beta elements of P2 that satisfy the following condition. The new path can be selected from any members in P3. This update rule will tend to produce loopless paths in the future part of the path, since condition 2 encourages short-circuiting loops to reduce the length. However, a loop that the angel is already inside cannot be short-circuited due to condition 1. We consider another scenario where angels stand at an inner corner and the devil eats Angel's common square. Angel will move to a nearest perch at the past part of the common path and then adjust the path accordingly. The following lemma represents the update rule can always be followed successfully. If I and j are terms with j after I, then Lj minus 2njj is less than or equals to Li minus 2nii. Since lambda I minus 1 is element of P1 and lambda I is element of P2, condition 2 yields equation 1. After turn I minus 1, the devil cannot produce any new eternal square in the left set of lambda I minus 1, so it produces the following equation 2. Combining equation 1 and equation 2, we get the following. And a simple induction yields the lemma. Let S be a segment on the common path after turn j, feature of Angel's perch after turn j minus 1. Let Q be the right square of S, then at the end of turn j, Q is not eaten. I will prove it by contradiction. Assume that Q is eaten at the end of turn j. Let beta be the extension of common path after turn j, where S is replaced with the other 3 borders of Q. Then L beta equals to Lj plus 2. Length of path increased by 2 to invade additional eternal square, and n beta j equals to njj plus 1 due to additional eternal square invaded. But since lambda j is element of P3, condition 3 implies that njj is more than or equals to n beta j, contradicting the above. Let S be a segment of lambda j, feature of Pj minus 1, and let Q be the right square of S. Then at the end of turn j, Q is not evaded. That Q is evaded at the end of turn j. Then S is the very next segment of lambda j after Pj minus 1. As a segment on the board S occurs at least once in lambda j, and both in adjacent square are in the left set of lambda j, the definition 2 implies that it must occur exactly twice in lambda j in opposite directions. Call the first occurrence S1 and the second S2. Define K to be the curve produced from lambda j by erasing the section from S1 and S2 inclusive. The past part of the common path must be the same as the new path K. The length Lk equals to Lj minus L. L is more than or equals to 2 is the number of segments in lambda j for S1 to S2 inclusive. We can see that V lambda j is subset of Vk. Therefore, njj is less than or equals to nkj. If S1 were to lie feature of Pj minus 1, we have K element of P1. Since lambda j is element of P2, condition 2 will then imply that Lj minus 2njj is less than or equals to Lk minus 2nkj. This contradicts with equation 3 and 4. So we conclude that S1 is in the path of or coincident with Pj minus 1. It follows that S equals to S2. Let I be the turn in which the angel moves the perch to or beyond S1. Pi is at or after S1, while Pj minus 1 is before S2. From Pi to Pj minus 1, the angel moves the perch at most L minus 2 segments. Thus, we have 2 times of j minus I less than or equals to L as equation 5. From lemma 1, we derive equation 6. Between turn I and j, the devil has eaten only j minus I squares. It yields equation 7. Putting the equation in the form of condition 2, we get equation 8. In turn I, we have k element of P1. So condition 2 implies the following equations. This implies that equation 8 must hold with equality. Then equation 4 to 7 must also hold with equality. However, from equation 5, the equation 2 times of j minus I equals to L is invalid as the number of segments between Pi and Pj can never be the same as the value of L. Therefore, at the end of turn j, Q cannot be evaded. Now let us prove that this strategy allows the angel to play forever without ever landing on an eternal square. Let j be any turn, and Q the right square of the perch at turn j. At the end of turn j, Q must be free, since by lemma 2, it cannot be eaten, and by lemma 3, it cannot be evaded. Thus, Q is uneaten as the angel lands there in turn j. Now, can you come up with a plan to cover this strategy?
really care who will win eventually since I don't play this game. All I know is that I will win you. Got to go for lesson. Bye. Alice Angel.
Bye.